Why I Meditate. Hello, I'm Chris Brooks from High Performance Learning. We teach people the skills they need to be able to excel at their education. We encourage our clients to learn meditation so they get used to observing what's going on in their minds. This makes it easier for us to teach them how to develop and monitor their thinking and learning processes. Meditation also improves concentration and increases people's motivation to do well. I've made a series of recorded guided meditations that are available from our website, www.highperformancelearning.com. I hope this video encourages you to try meditation. I'm sure you'll get a lot out of it. It may even change your life completely, like it did for me. Why I Meditate. I started meditating over 35 years ago at about the age of 30. I didn't meditate every day during those 35 years, far from it, but I sure wish I had. Sometimes I go for a few months without meditating at all and only get back to meditation when I start feeling desperate about how my life is going. It's so dumb, and I kick myself every time. The trouble is, when my mind is feeling clear, and then my life gets so stressful and I'm worn out at the end of the day, I try to save time by missing my meditation. Life is tricky enough already for me, without handicapping myself. Meditation is like servicing my car regularly, or paying my insurance on time. If I don't do it regularly, the costs can be enormous. Talking about this reminds me of an exercise that I encourage you to try. A long time ago I imagined I was 20 years older and wrote a letter back in time to my current self. I still have the letter. It's in a drawer somewhere and I come across it every 5 or 10 years when I'm having a clean-out. The first sentence in the letter says, "Make sure you meditate every day." In the years after school, but before I learned to meditate, I tried hard to work out what I was going to do with my life. I tried a number of professions, but was dissatisfied with them all. As the years went by, I became more negative and depressed. Life wasn't turning out how I had been led to believe when I was a child. My first encounter with meditation was when I came across the Transcendental Meditation movement. They claimed that Transcendental Meditation, or TM for short, would make my brain work better and I would become calmer and smarter. They also claimed that if 1% of the population of an area meditated, it would have a major positive impact on the whole community. These claims attracted me, so I went to their meditation classes for a while and found that the meditation practice had an enormous positive impact on my life. Unfortunately, I found it hard to relate to the culture of the TM group. Meditation was treated as magical and the organisation was organised into a hierarchy with the most experienced meditators at the top. They gave meditation the trappings of a religion. I left the group once I was able to meditate. I didn't need the rituals, and I realised that meditation wasn't as mysterious as it was usually portrayed. Essentially, meditation is a way of gaining awareness and control over the automatic thoughts that rush through our minds. As I developed the observer identity in my mind, I found I became more aware of how my mind was operating in my daily life when I wasn't meditating. I then started experiencing many of the benefits claimed for meditation: better concentration, more focus, calmer under pressure, clearer thinking, better sleep, and so on. The quality of the conversations in my head improved dramatically. Instead of repetitive thoughts, inner conflict, and out-of-control moods, I became more centered and able to have sensible conversations with myself, resulting in easier decision-making, more action, and less procrastination. I also acted more decisively on my decisions and completed tasks I set myself with less fuss. My life stopped being an emotional roller coaster. I had been told of the benefits of meditation, but no one had told me that I would develop into a new person, so it came as a surprise when I realized it a year or so later. I stopped asking myself what I would do when I grew up and realized the real question was, who was I going to be? Once I worked out who I was going to be, I had better tools to help me decide what I was going to do at any particular time. This revelation came to me quite suddenly one day in the middle of a meditation. I realized I'd been living a deterministic life. I had been identifying as the thoughts and emotions in my mind. These thought patterns were mainly a result of my upbringing and other things that had happened to me in my life, and I had little control over them. I realized I was living in a personal jail, and decided that day to consciously choose who I was and stop operating on automatic pilot. It was all pretty raw for a while, but with my new thinking skills, I was able to develop my new identity quite quickly. My identity has continued to develop since that time. I am forever uncovering blind spots that I don't know I have, and I have to adapt to technological and social changes, to changes in the people around me, and to changes in myself, such as getting older. So why do I meditate? Sure, it's to get rid of negative emotions and stress, but putting it like that misses the point. I meditate for the positive reason of maintaining a strong, resilient identity, so I can live my life with a clear purpose and grow every day. Part of my purpose in life is to help people get better at communicating, learning, and thinking. One aspect of that is to teach people how to meditate, like I'm doing right now. Having a clear purpose makes it much easier to make the tricky decisions in life, and more importantly, act on those decisions. Of course, most of my decisions do not work out exactly as I planned. I constantly monitor the progress of my decisions and am able to make new decisions when required. I also get a strong sense of satisfaction as I make progress on my carefully chosen goals. And this satisfaction leads to true happiness, happiness that never goes away. It just builds month after month and year after year. If learning about my journey with meditation has got you interested in trying it, I suggest you start by following the directions in my book. Otherwise, you could join a meditation group or use guided meditations. You'll need to look around and try different approaches until you find one that suits who you want to be. The easiest and most effective way to learn how to meditate is to use guided meditations. I've produced a series of guided meditations suitable for beginners and experienced meditators. These guided meditations are available from our website www.highperformancelearning.com. Why don't you give them a try?